In this talk, I want to introduce how to write case report. I believe this approach possibly applicable to every clinical experiences, which may lead to multiple publication. Let's think about what achievement of case writing brings to you. First, you can get publication, that is visible production, which represents your high ability. Accumulation of publication will help you to construct your career. In addition, you can get other additional fruits. It enhances your scientific perspectives. You can deepen disease knowledge and clinical reasoning in areas where you wrote in case report. It also motivates you for further paper writing. Finally, the process will raise your capability as an author. So, skill of writing case report is mandatory, but it looks complicated, and actually no official curriculum exists. I want to indicate two fundamental points. Point one is find the topic of your case report by comparing your case and the past ones and seek the new points in yours. Point two is consider template of case report and key points. Case report consists of introduction part, case presentation part, and discussion part. Each part has key points, which shown in later. To find the topic of your case report, make a table to compare your case and past cases like this. And the left column includes any kind of clinical information like clinical cause, symptoms, blood test, MRI, and everything come to here. And fill the fact in your case and past case. After that, mark equal when findings of your case are already reported, and mark not equal when your finding is new. It means not reported. Not equal point are candidates of your case topic. Here I show the logical development method by pattern. Generally, you will have three patterns. Pattern 1 is a case where the disease concept is entirely unknown. Pattern 2 is a known disease with new clinical aspects. Pattern 3 is a known disease with no new clinical aspects. Mostly, you will see pattern 2 and 3. Note that in each situation, clinical significance should exist in some way. For example, in point 1, clinical significance is introducing a new disease. In pattern 2, clinical significance is variability of the disease is shown. In pattern 3, enlightenment of the disease are shown. Importantly, all patterns can lead to the same conclusion, that is, it will contribute correct diagnosis and treatment. Clinical significance will be the most important factor for a case report. More clinical experience than we expect will be subject of case report. And let's move to the point 2. Consider template of case report and key points. At introduction part, we need to be mindful that can readers have enough background to understand my paper? Because readers are not always professional for your paper's topic. So, attempt to release audience from knowledge gap is important. So, as example, You should try to explain facts shown in the title in the introduction part. And I want to recommend you to synchronize title and contents of instruction. This is the top page of my case report I published in past. This paper speculating a mechanism of spasms, a form of seizure, with MEG, magnetoencephalography. Spasms are underlined with solid line and MEG with broken line. Now we can see two components in title. Your readers may not know about spasm and MEG well, so we should start explain these facts. In this case, I initially start to explain about spasm, which is followed by MEG. After introducing two facts, readers are ready to understand our paper. So I show the significance of this study here. By taking these steps, readers are released from knowledge gap. In case presentation part, please select information crucial to understand your patient's story. In this case, I recommend you to include pertinent not only positive findings but also negative ones. As an example, I present history of febrile seizures in major temporal lobe epilepsy. This is especially important in case of considering anterior temporal lobectomy. Presence or absence of febrile seizure is associated with presence or absence of hippocampal atrophy. This difference brings a different seizure prognosis with operation. At discussion part, you need to show not equal points and its clinical significance. If needed, convincing explanation or unitary hypothesis. It is one fact which can explain everything will be required. So I want to show actual three cases to facilitate your understanding my approach. And I want to convey one more thing, that first author of these three papers are medical students or young residents at that time. It means even if you are a medical student, you can write case report. So case 1 is a case of West syndrome whose spasm appeared 6 weeks before hypothyroidism appearance. Brain MRI of the patient showed a focal cortical dysplasia in the right frontal lobe. At the age of 3 months, the patient showed a spasm and showed a developmental delay, but no hypothyroidism was confirmed in the EEG. So in this point, diagnosis of West syndrome was pending. But 6 weeks after 4 months, hypothyroidism appeared, so the patient was diagnosed with West syndrome. Of note, West syndrome this term has been replaced with infantile epileptic spasm syndrome (IESS) from 2022 by ILAE, International League Against Epilepsy. The patient was treated with HGH therapy and course was fine. So about this case, make a table to find not equal point and declare its clinical significance. The present case is finally diagnosed with West syndrome. But compared with the past report, there is some difference. That is, presence of time lag between appearing spasm and hypothyroidism. 6 weeks. Usually, these two spasm and the hip arrhythmia appears almost the same time. So we can see some difference here. So the not equal point, clinical variability of West syndrome was shown. And its clinical significance is when spasms appear without hip arrhythmia in clinical setting, repetitive EEG will be recommended to see appearance of hip arrhythmia. As I indicated in the previous slide, IESS was adopted by ILAE in 2022 to encompass both West syndrome and incomplete West syndrome like ours. This criteria change may be a result of clinical experiences shown here, possibly. In case 2, a case of anterior cingulate epilepsy whose seizure symptoms consist of uncomfortable feeling of chest and autonomic symptoms. This boy was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorders. Present history of epilepsy is his seizure starts from age of 13 with a generalized convulsion. He also noticed the following event: uncomfortable feeling of chest, which is followed by autonomic symptoms, in this case, heart feeling and urinary urge. The authors were not sure these symptoms were epileptic or not, considering his difficulty of communication due to ASD. EEG showed left hemispheric abnormality in interictal and ictal phase. FDG PET showed hypometabolic change in left major frontal. Compare right and left, we can see a hypometabolic change in the left. MEG spike source also estimated on the left major frontal. So the diagnosis is left frontal lobe epilepsy, in specific, left anterior cingulate epilepsy. So about the case, make a table to find not equal point and declare its clinical significance. The present case is anterior cingulate epilepsy. Actually, this is a very rare type of epilepsy. The clinical symptom is a sensory seizure and autonomic seizure, and the EEG was widely distributed. These facts are consistent with the previous report. But we can find some difference in utility of FDG PET and MEG findings. In past report, this utility was unknown. But in the present study, both modalities were effective to focalize the source. So we can put not equal here. From here, in this case, not equal point is FDG PET and MEG might help for diagnosing this type of epilepsy. And its clinical significance is FDG PET and MEG may be considered to focalize epileptogenic zone. And in this case, I want to stress one thing that sometimes the equal points also should have clinical significance. That is, it's worth sharing this widely, as this condition is rare. It's kind of enlightenment. So from here, we can say that the equal point may add uniqueness to the paper. The third case is a case with a migraine showing variable symptoms. This girl had following this kind of episodic symptoms: bilateral throbbing headache lasting over 4 hours, which was accompanied with photophobia and phonophobia. The patient also had a severe midline abdominal pain and the red ear, shown here. This attack appeared repeatedly, and no organic lesion was identified by the evaluation. The patient diagnosis is migraine without aura and the abdominal migraine. She was tried several medications, all of them were ineffective, but valproic acid successfully controlled her attack. So in this case, make a table to find not equal point and declare its clinical significance. As you can see here, The present case have no unique points. Diagnosis and clinical symptoms treatment. Everything is always reported by the past report. However, still this case can be reported because it means its clinical significance is it's worth sharing this experience widely, as migraine's variable profile was not sufficiently recognized in general. So we can say that even if no equal point is identified, clinical significance of equal point may be the point for publication. If you feel that I'm interested in writing case report, however, how can I conduct everything in actual setting? I may support you from two aspects, theoretical and practical. The former refers to my paper, which describes the detail of breakthrough and educational intervention with theoretical background. Latter refers to support with real-time interactive editing function equipped in some applications such as Google Documents. In this intervention, all discussion and ideas are shared with text-based form. It means no need to have face-to-face meeting, including through Zoom. It is advantageous for busy schedules of authors. With this approach, a shortening period for submission was accomplished. In one case, it was shortened from over 5 months to 2 weeks. Finally, I want to share with you that what I have been thinking in case writing from the greatest thought. Lao Tzu, ancient Chinese philosophy, mentioned like this. I understand it. Teaching how to catch a fish is fundamental. I believe how to catch a fish is similar to how to write case report, as they both are lifelong applicable skills. If you run a specialist area, for example neurology, you can deepen specific knowledge of the area. If you run case writing, you can also get, in addition to one, you can get ability of constructing pathophysiological hypothesis, ability of academic writing skill, and motivation for next writing. The all will raise you as the four wheels of a cart through continuous publication. Thank you for listening.